brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. They hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Non-believers didn't pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures eat what they didn't build. They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already prayed for it. Nobody prayed for it. Nobody didn't pray for us. Nobody didn't pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. And vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy poster.
I was doing a Twitter space one time, and it was this woman. Y'all remember, it was a Twitter space about 2-3 years ago. It was a woman in Arizona. She was from Kenya, I think, and she had a real funny disposition about foundational Black Americans. She couldn't stand us. She had all these little stereotypes, and she worked as like a nurse, as like at like a hospice or something. But she was talking about how there's a lot of elderly FBAs up here where I work and all that old stuff. And we're like, I hope they're going to be safe. Hey, ma'am, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am good.
Is that you?
Where you at? That is me. That is me. Yes, indeed.
Why are you not
That's
showing
me. I'm
your
good.
face?
This is my face, sweetie. This is me. I just wanted to put a picture up. You see? Can you see me?
Good. I can see you.
Can you see me?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Let's die. To everyone except the foundational Black Americans, I hate you. I hate you. Let's die. Ooh. If I could gather all of you in one place with a strap to my chest, you know what time it is. We're gonna have a party. We're gonna blow up the spot. More like me. I'm doing society a favor. But yeah, everybody else, happy Black History Month.
Let me see. But yeah, like.
That is very embarrassing, family, that we allow these folks to believe they're entitled to a foundation of Black American history. They believe they're really entitled to that. Again, I blame Jesse Jackson and the national government for causing all of this confusion, believing that when they come to this country, that their race, something they made up, their race is Black, but our ethnicity is called Black, and that's the confusion. Like, they're called Black because they got some African ancestry, I guess. The American government is trying to define them, but we're Black because of our ethnogenesis and our shared experiences, our shared history in this country. It has nothing to do with our African ancestry. Okay, you can be foundation Black American with zero African ancestry. So that's not the connection. African ancestry is not the glue to determine who's FBA and who's not. No, it's not. It's your ethnogenesis, your shared experience in this country, the continuity of it as well. That what determines if you're a foundational Black American, if you're ADOS, if you're a freedman. That's what determines that, not your African ancestry. So that's what they don't get. So they think because they have African ancestry, they come from Africa or the Caribbean, they're automatically Black, and then they're automatically tied to our history, Black history. And they'll get some straightening. So I'm gonna let Turkey Nasheed cook for a little bit. I'm gonna let Ant CEO cook for a little bit, and then on the back end, I'm gonna do what I do.
Oh, that old girl, man, the lady. What's up, brother? American Freeman. Yeah, this woman up here threatening us, brother Arthur. Did you, man? Yeah, we need some certified letters sent out about that woman, brother Arthur. Did you put something together for that crazy woman who was threatening us, brother? Yeah, that was very disturbing. Yeah, that was very disturbing. Yeah, these people, man, and that's not the only one. There's a few of these people who be threatening us like this. They like, oh, I hate them FBAs. Man, when I was over in Senegal, it was one dude, this Tether, and he's always making little anti-FBA videos, but he was like, yeah, if y'all see the people over in Senegal need to physically attack Tariq, and they were like, what the hell? Yeah, he said what? Yeah, they're like, yeah, I would call my people to get him. Yeah, he was like, yeah. Yeah, he was like, yeah, they're going to get me and all this shit. I'm like, really? Okay. See, they don't want to start playing that game. They don't want to start playing that game. But yeah, they can't scrap like that. Yeah, they talk all that rah-rah shit and run up on an FBA, get stomped out, and then the musty tethers run and go get them a U visa. I was abused, nigga. I was abused. I need citizenship. But listen, why are these people, all that anger and that vitriol? You know, where's that anger and that vitriol coming from? From these people? Because that's heavy. They're making these weird threats to us. Because we got to understand something. A lot of these people, they bring their colonized conditioning over here. They come over here with some of those anti-Black American narratives that were festering over there in their homelands. You see? And they have a lot of resentment over who actually holds power and influence. We have soft power because we are the cultural innovators. So people follow our cultural lead. That gives us a certain level of soft power. And despite centuries of oppression, we as foundational Black Americans, we produced the most influential Black culture and the political movements and legal victories on earth. Some of these people like her, they resent the fact that they have to benefit from doors that foundational Black Americans forced open, while we remain the reference point of Black identity around the world. You understand? And there's a lot of psychological displacement and scapegoating. You see, because they've been exploited by the European powers, they're not going to challenge that. So, you know, they try to punch sideways, as people say. And these people, you got to understand, there's an entitlement that they have. We've been helping these people so long. Some of these people, they arrive here and they seek the benefits of foundational Black American struggles, civil rights, all that stuff. And they openly despise the people who made those gains possible. And it really, really causes more resentment that the people they can't stand, they have to depend on. And when we start asserting boundaries and we're demanding delineation, that entitlement now flips into a rage because now they can't benefit no more. I'm telling y'all, delineation has stopped the gravy train. These people are mad for a reason, man. You know, these people are very, very mad, and all this threatening. Yeah, these people are musty mad because they've been relying on us to be generic Africans. You understand? And us being generic Africans allowed them to get all types of benefits and gains off of our struggle. It's like demons being exposed. Man, this delineation has really shaken the table. This delineation has shaken the table majorly. Do we have any Africans in here? If we have any continental Africans in here, raise your hand. Let's talk about it. Let's have a real conversation. We like to talk to you, to talk you through it. Because of all of this anger and all of these threats, see, y'all taking this thing to a place y'all don't want to take it to. Let's start talking all that. We know y'all ain't gonna bust a grape, but just talking all that greasy shit. Y'all say that to the wrong person. It goes sideways. Yeah, that's the problem. What's that deal? Yeah, you keep that.
Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward where he talked to a tether.
Yeah. I gotta watch it because I'm not trying to be big bad. These nursing homes and this Jamaican mammy who worked there was hitting him with my sexiness.
That ain't it. I think it's at the end of it.
There's a certain level of people are gonna do.
But
I'm gonna.
What about the couch?
I'm not nobody. What you mean? What we're gonna do?
What?
Wait. Where you? There you go. Y'all feel because they participated. They didn't really get the benefits from it. All right, Mr. Swizzy, what are you asking? Now, Swizzy, what are you asking about the conversation? Oh, so I can't hear you. Wait. Where you? There you go.
I said, what's next for FBA? Like, we understand the delineation. We understand, like, that's out. We got it. We've been.
No, wait.
No, and it's good that it's been brought to the forefront.
No, we don't got it. We're still delineating. There's so many Foundation Black Americans that don't even know about delineating from everybody. Everybody. It's not just the Africans or the Caribbean. It's everybody. We're delineating. We're making it known who we are, and we're separate from every ethnic group on earth. No, we don't got it. We're still delineating. It's a movement to delineate, just like reparations. We don't have that either. That's a movement. So delineation, we don't have it because after delineation comes, see, I would ask him, and I say, brother, what comes next after delineation? Like I asked the people who call on my show that I embarrass and educate every time. But yeah, so what do you mean? Right, we're on to, once we're fully delineated, then it's on to the next. And the next is disaggregation on forms. And then we got explicit representation, which is the last. Correct. But there's steps, 3 steps: delineation, disaggregation, and self or explicit representation. But this is mainly a tether question.
But what we gonna do?
That's kind of a passive aggressive. That's a passive aggressive question.
No, it's an honest question.
That's passive aggressive. Where's your family from, Swizzy?
I'm born and raised in the United States. I've got family in Reynolds, Georgia. My mother is from the States. I got documented history.
Yeah, because when you said in the comment, y'all not tired of this conversation. What's next, FBA?
And I'm asking
what conversation? Tired of what conversation?
Arguing with tethers, as you said, every night on the daggone.
Why are you offended by that?
I think it's getting tiring. I think
you don't have to tune in. You don't have to tune in. Why are you tuning in?
So there's nothing.
There's a gazillion other spaces. Right? There's a gazillion other spaces. Why don't you tune into all these other spaces?
So there's nothing.
It's so tiring.
I'm just trying to figure out what we gonna do. We got.
What you mean? What we're gonna do?
What is FBA gonna do? What's the next move?
It's 43 million of us. What you mean? What we gonna do? What 43 million people gonna do?
And it's 5 million that tunes into you every day saying the same shit all the time.
Okay,
what
that's
doing?
what they gonna do.
Jobs,
I guess they're just saying the same
fucked
shit.
up, healthcare fucked up. What we doing? We delineated. We got people paying attention. So what's the next move? Is all I'm wondering, because I don't hear none of that stuff. So somebody that appreciated your content and appreciates your content, I'm actually really curious. Because
I'm not nobody's leader. I don't dictate what people are gonna do.
But
I'm gonna.
What about the couch?
I'm not nobody's leader. I don't dictate what people are gonna do, sir. What are you doing?
When I'm gonna organize with people, like-minded people, vote locally, try to talk about the problems that the community is facing, as you do. So I'm not knocking you on that. I ain't saying that what you're doing is completely wrong or nothing, but we've been going over this for the last couple of years. And shit hasn't gotten better for us. So that's all. That's my only honest question.
What has gotten better?
Nothing has gotten better for us.
Okay, so why don't you innovate something that's going to do better for all of us?
I'm not the one online with a whole bunch of people parroting everything I say all day.
Then why don't people want to listen to you? How
That's
come you haven't done anything?
That's not my thing. It's not my thing.
Oh, right. Okay. Okay. Then you don't need to say anything because you can't even do anything that makes people want to follow you.
I choose not to sit
right. So you choose not to be influential at all. So you can't speak on it.
Well, so everybody can't be influential like you, sir. So
right. So that means you can't give advice. So if you have no influence and you just admitted you have no influence whatsoever, sir.
We just gonna keep arguing online all day.
You
right?
said, sir, you've just admitted you have zero influence and you don't even care to get any. Therefore, you're not at liberty to give anybody advice on anything, sir. You're being very hypocritical.
I'm asking a question. What I'm doing,
you're being hypocritical.
So basically, nothing.
Because when people try to ask you some shit that they ain't doing, you're not doing anything, sir. So me and you ain't doing shit.
Yeah, this is funny when Tariq Nasheed trolled him back. Yeah, but when they start off with, I'm trying to figure out, I'm confused. When they start off with that language, which they do over here, I don't say anything, but I know what that means. They're not confused. They're not trying to figure out anything. This is their undermining attempts because they think they got something. And I let them go. But as you can see, he wants one man to do something for 43 million because he wants a leader. We don't have a leader, my guy. You got to figure out your own way right now.
Together, right? We're twins.
So y'all you ain't got nothing for just argue with niggas online all day.
Just like you're arguing with me. Just like you're arguing with me. Yeah, we're twins, sir. That's what we do. Me and you. Two niggas arguing in a tree. Right?
Hey.
Because you ain't doing nothing. Nothing. You're arguing with me, and you said you ain't got no influence whatsoever. So yeah, you're just not at liberty. So we're doing the same thing. So don't project your frustration onto me. I never said I was going to do. I'm not going to do anything. I don't have to do anything.
I know what type time you want.
Even though I do.
One more question.
But I don't have to do anything. Listen, even though I do a lot of stuff, but I don't have to. No.
Why did you abandon?
I'm talking, sir. I'm talking. Yeah, you sound like a tether. Yeah, you're upset for a reason. I don't like that passive aggressive stuff. You either a tether or you're in a relationship with one.
Right. That usually happens. So two things. We call them suspected tethers. And if they're in a relationship one where they got to sell out their lineage, we call them honorary tethers.
That's why you're offended. Because obviously people like to hear what I have to say. It's thousands of people in here. So I'm saying something that somebody likes to hear. Nobody's listening to you, Mr. Swizz. Why is that? Why are they listening to me and not you?
I don't go live. I just got on TikTok.
Yeah, you're live now. You're live now, sir.
Right.
You invited me up.
Talk your talk.
I had a question.
Yeah.
Right, but you're live now, so talk your talk. Speak your speak.
You're live and you have a
Did I
social
request to
media
come up?
page, and you have a social media page, and nobody's following you. Even if I don't go live, people still follow my tweets and my post. So why do they like
So
what I have to
what?
say
Oh,
and
you're
not what you have to say?
popular. Cool.
Right. Why am I so popular?
Because you shucking and jiving. You changing,
I'm
you
shucking
manipulating,
and jiving. I'm
you
shucking and
manipulating the
jiving.
people.
So everybody's dumb. Is that what you're
Give them
saying?
their marching orders. They taking,
So everybody's
they
dumb,
playing the
but
couch
you're the
again.
smart. You're the smart one.
Y'all playing the
So
couch
how come
again
you
this
ain't got?
year?
If you okay, if everybody's dumb and you're the smart one, Swizz,
Y'all
how
playing
come
the
you ain't
couch
got no
again?
influence? How come you ain't got no influence,
FBA
Swizz?
unemployment up.
How come you ain't got
FBA
no
healthcare going up.
influence?
FBA
Yeah, so it's
homelessness going up.
okay. What's happening that's not been happening under the Democrats?
Fuck the Democrats too.
Right. So what you talking about? What's
I'm
happening
talking
now
about.
that has what's happening now that has not been happening for the last 30 years?
So
What's happening now?
just let it stay like what that.
What's
Right?
been happening
Let it
now
stay that
that's
way.
not been happening? All right. What's been happening now
So it
that's
don't
not been
matter,
happening
right?
for the last 30 years? What's been happening? Nothing. Everything has been the same, right?
So my point is, my
Then
question was.
you ain't done nothing to change it, so you're not at liberty to point fingers,
So
sir.
my question was, what is the next step? We got the
Yeah,
knowledge.
the next step is you getting up off your ass and doing something, sir. That's the next
I
step.
am.
Instead of sitting up like a woman looking to another man to do the job for you, you get up and do something, sir. You a grown man. You sound like somebody's baby mama. What we gonna do? I need some Pampers. I need some milk. What we gonna do? You got a job? That's what you sound like, brother. You don't holler at no man about what he gonna do for your life. You a man. Get your ass up. Be somebody. Get
I
some
just told you
influence,
I'm
sir.
at work. I got great
Yeah.
health insurance.
Yeah, you're at
I got a
Amazon right
union
now
job.
chilling. Brother.
I'm not a
Yeah,
tether,
Amazon is fine.
but I'm not
And,
no sucker.
yeah, you sound
You
like a
talk about
tether.
white
'Cause,
supremacy your whole career
you sound like a tether,
until you got
sir.
put.
Why you get offended
Now
that we're getting some delineation going on? Nobody's offended by their own lineage, so it's something else going on. You sound like a tether, or you're dating one, sir.
delineation is
Say
good.
that. Say that, sir, and stop with all of these passive aggressive
Delineation is
nonsense
good.
ass things. Yeah.
So what's next?
Sound like you. What you mean? What's next?
Delineation is good.
Whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Then get out there and do it.
I'm gonna call out your fraud ass. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, that's a projection, sir.
No, it's not.
That's a projection.
So these guys literally call up and just say nothing. They say a lot of words, and when you try to listen into the argument, you realize, you just said nothing. And then that's when I would normally snap. Tariq got way more decorum than me. All right. This is when, once I realized he just said a bunch of words and it meant nothing, and I'm just on the phone wasting time, that's when I usually go crazy on it.
You're projecting.
I
You're
watched
projecting
you for
your fraud
I
mentality,
watched you
sir.
for years.
Yeah, and
I've listened.
if you watch me for years, I've never frauded nobody. That's a
Yeah, and everybody do me a favor. Like the video. Yeah, like the video.
projection, sir. That's a projection,
You went
sir.
from Melanoid Nation
Yeah, sir. Now you pocket
to Nelly
watching. Now
Fuller.
you're a woman. Listen, Swizz.
What happened?
You're a woman,
What happened
dude.
to
You're a pocket watching woman, sir. That's what women do. And I won't even put that on women, because a lot of the sisters are thorough. You
What happened to
worse. You worse than a woman.
What
You
happened
like a biatch. You know what I'm saying? You pocket watching a man
Why you keep?
at your job at Amazon.
That's
Yeah, this is jealousy talking right here, sir.
you keep.
Whereas you too old to be jealous of another man.
You keep me.
No, yeah, you're not.
You keep-
No, you're not gonna be a sassy, jealous peasant here whining to a man, sir. Yeah. I'm lighting your ass up. You're not getting your
Sass-
jealous rant over.
Oh,
You're not getting your jealous rant. You getting frustrated because you can't get your jealous
Damn
rant off,
ass.
can you? You can't get your jealous rant off with your jealous self. You want to be me, don't you?
fraud.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Yeah, what happened with nobody knowing you? You hate being obscure and don't nobody know you. That's what that is. Yeah, let's talk, sir. You ain't got no influence. Nobody wants to listen to you. And you're older and you're like, how come everybody listens to him and nobody listens to me? That's jealous talk, sir. Ain't it, Swiss? Let's talk about it. Come on, Swiss. You just jealous because ain't nobody
I can
listening
talk
to you.
now?
You don't get no respect. You don't have any respect from nobody.
Oh, it's a popularity contest?
Yeah, it's a respect contest that you don't get. That's what
My
you mad
man
at.
mixed respect with popularity.
Right? Say
Wow.
that. Say that, Swiss.
Respect what?
Nobody respects you.
Respect what?
And you're upset about
Respect
that.
what? What happened to the
Nobody
Nelly Fuller
respects you.
code that you used to talk about?
Oh, no. You're just saying shit. What happened to your respect? Nothing. You don't get it,
Oh,
sir. We're having an intervention. Well, Swiss, let's have an intervention. Why do you think you don't get no respect? Why do you think you don't get no respect?
respect from who? From clowns like
Anybody.
you?
Nobody wants to rock with you. No, I'm not
What
that
am
much
I?
of a clown. You know, you all in my business. You all naming business endeavors that I do. You all up in my pockets. So yeah, I ain't that much of a clown. I got you all sassy laying on your stomach, looking into finances and records and all of that like a pizzonk.
I
Yeah, listen to you.
never mentioned.
That's a basketball wife mentality. Yes, sir. That's called jealousy. Get that, and most tethers got that jealous mindset. That's why you're offended by us calling the tethers out, sir. We don't get offended when tethers get called out. You got offended by that because you come from a tether background, sir. Don't you? Come on, Swiss.
I do not come from a tether background. And I'm just wondering what is up with FBA and what happened to the code? What happened to the code? You spoke about Nelly Fuller code for years and you just abandoned it when you found it easier to work for the white supremacists.
You're the one working at a job in the middle of the night for the white supremacists. I don't, sir. That's a projection.
Well, because I don't have people donating to me every day.
Yeah, I have several businesses, sir.
All right, family, that's clearly a pocket watching comment. There's many people, and even if he did, it's what content creation gets you, what podcasting gets you. That's what philanthropy work gets you. That's what activism gets you. That's what nonprofit work gets you. All of those things, all those entities get you donation. Okay. Um, there's no badge of shame with that. If that was the case, now we know that's not true. Like he's exaggerating, pocket watching. But if that was the case, like your supporters supporting you, tethers try to make our livelihood, our positive livelihood, negative. It's positive until we do it, and then it's shameful. Delineation is a great idea until we do it. Asking for a redress for reparations is a great idea until we do it. No, we're not going to let you shame us to believe donations, reparations, delineation, all those things are bad. They're great. They were great before we did it. They're great now as we do it.
Good for you.
I got several successful businesses, sir. Yeah, that's a tether mindset right there. That's why I know you a tether. Because y'all think anytime somebody black has a certain level of success, there's some kind of Sally Struthers thing where some Red Cross gave them something. They live off donations like the people in your family. I run businesses, sir. You don't understand that because you're over there at that warehouse right now. And I don't knock anybody for working in a warehouse, but you don't understand what we do over here on this side of the game. So stay in your lane, man. Just stay in your lane or pop your collar and put your ear out there and learn some game. Don't be no whining hater. I don't want kids to have
I
that
was
mindset.
learning
Kids,
game.
hold on. No, be quiet.
You
All of
changed
my
the
young,
game.
all of my young people listening, all of my young people, don't be like this punk. All right, don't be like this dude. Learn game. If you see somebody thorough, step to him and say, "Hey, man, let me peep what you doing, man. Let me hang around. Let me intern, kind of soak up what you doing." That's how real players do it. You don't sit there when how much money you got? You get a donation? Ooh, that money is the grifted. It's the dude. Yeah, we got enough bitch asses. We got enough sucker dudes. We don't need more. All right. So my young folks, let me get them out of here because I don't want all this whining. All of my young men in particular, don't be like that guy. Learn some game. If you see somebody shining, you see somebody doing something fly, learn some game from them. You know? That's what you do. You see what's going on and how they're doing.
All right, so I'm gonna go to the next video where the guy was being a buffoon, and then we're gonna go to Ant CEO debating that clown.
Bad faith.
Can I ask you this? Oh, my bad. You wanna go ahead?
Leverage too. Once you're done with your question, 3D did put his hands up in the comments.
I got you. So even with that, like, because I understand that, and it's definitely got to be acknowledged, and it's definitely got to be spoken on, right? But in these conversations, especially with this, is like, well, what's the point of? But in this context, what's the point of FBA? Because when we like the reason why people can easily attach FBA to the rhetoric is because people, announce socially that I'm FBA, and then this is the things that follow behind it. So as much as FBA just a lineage or a moniker or identifier or whatever the case may be, it's the rhetoric that comes behind it that attaches it to it. So that's why it's saturated, and that's why, you feel me, it seems like it's poison. But
if that's the case, well, then Nigerians are poisonous because the rhetoric of Akata, and then stay away from the Akata. So you know what I'm saying?
Like, we know the history with Akata, though.
All right, well, let's get past that. Let's deal with the history of scamming. When you think of a Nigerian today, you think of Nigeria today, you think of scamming. So if you should think of FBAs are as divisive, xenophobic, because of a handful of exceptional people, the exceptional line, who you can't even confirm who's really from the lineage. Could be straight trolls, could be you guys. You guys be getting paid by Russia to behave like that. But let's say if they are FBAs. So a handful of the exception online misrepresenting the lineage, that's enough to condemn the whole lineage as being divisive and xenophobic. So, like Therese said, but forget about Akata. I'm talking about scamming. So should we just throw African and trash them as scammers? You see, that logic got to go both ways, because we've seen a handful of Africans getting locked up for scamming. Okay, so it's goofy logic.
You keep saying that, but that's a Yoruba word specifically for Yoruba people. That's specifically for African people that was weaponized in a certain way. It's not a real derogatory term for Black Americans.
Okay, so he sit there and then dog us out and say that we have rhetoric that ties to xenophobia and creating division. And when he points out, well, look at your rhetoric, then he starts explaining. This doesn't work in real time.
That's just a historical
and that's
context.
Is why when you do that, because every time that term is used by West Africans up and down the West African coast, it is used as a derogatory, pejorative term for us. And the way you just dismissed it, that's the reason why we have to clap back. That's not
because they use it like that in other countries, but they don't use it as a derogatory term, and that's facts.
It's always that's just not honest, brother. That term is always.
I'm just saying it's the same. All right. We ain't got to go into the term. Like I said, it's not a word for us. But I get with the point. But 3D, you wanted to go ahead.
Specifically for us, yeah. That word is definitely for us, and it's a pejorative term that is commonly used. Are we going to paint all of them with the same brush for using that term? The foundation of Black American is no for us.
But the word wasn't created for Black Americans, is what he's saying. It was created for Yoruba people who left Yoruba land and got westernized and then returned home. They were called Akata. Has it been weaponized and used against us? Yes, in some cases, but it wasn't created.
Okay, listen. The word negro wasn't created for us. That's a Spanish word that means black, but it started to be exclusively placed on Foundation Black Americans as a consistent derogatory word. So the origins mean nothing about a word. Okay, it's how it's used and who is used against. All right, that's what matters, and it's been consistently used as a derogatory word towards Foundation Black Americans, and so has Akata. The hell with the etymology, the hell with the origins. That doesn't mean anything.
For African Americans, Black Americans, FBA.
But the point
That's
is,
the
when they
point.
utilize it now in modern terms,
True.
it's almost exclusively used for us, or it's used for Nigerians who act like us because they tell each other, hey, don't go over there acting like an Akata. Don't come over here behaving like an Akata girl. So they're speaking specifically about us. And that's the reality.
And then again, true indeed. Even if that's true, to the point of not even take that, it's like when we talk about FBA and the rhetoric that come behind, the reason why it's easy for people because it's an identifier. You can group it, you can generalize and just say FBA because this is what majority of them say. This is what majority of that's the interaction. So it's not necessarily that. Like for me, I'm a Black American. I don't have a problem with people pushing back on the anti-blackness on us. I don't have a problem with that pushback. I do it too. But it's when we start talking about these real-time issues, these identifying real problems and how to fix them is to where this stuff stop aligning. But 3D, you wanted to say something?
And an active 3D, I think clean, even though he spelt it wrong, is incorrect. It's bothering my eyes. But after 3D, clean had his hand up.
Yeah, as I was saying before you joined, Tariq, I'm all with the FBA movement. I'm glad, African freedmen are able to identify themselves, and as a Ghanaian, it gives us light into the people that travel overseas and lose themselves or whatever. But I feel like you start taking it too far though. Like you said once, Africans don't have no culture. And not like, and you're addressing the 0.1% of Africans that actually travel to the U.S. and paint the entire continent as them. That's just crazy, because like most of my family don't want to come to the U.S. It's only a fraction of our family that actually come into the U.S. So you're looking at how people act in the U.S. as Africans that have vitriol, as you would say, or you've had negative interactions with, or in political positions that are, using their influence to not stand up for African FBAs. I get that, but for you to paint the entire continent as that's where you lose me.
Like you were up here doing?
I'm Ghanaian. I'm reading the prompter, and the question is,
You were up here painting all of Black America with a broad stroke.
Not in a negative light. I just referenced you
Yes,
all
she
as
was.
FBA.
Yes, you were. Yes,
I said,
you were.
no, I didn't. I said FBA. I referred to you all as FBA.
Because
You
we, in the
got
context of the
offended.
conversation, we was talking about the xenophobic talking points or the alt-right talking points that's come from the FBA people that identify. That's what we were speaking on. You were saying something like that. Yeah, y'all all just in one boat, but we were saying that. Nah, we all might be we all the same people, but we ain't all identifying the same way. So you feel
Yeah,
me?
y'all got offended
Make
because I
distinctions.
referenced FBAs when I was referencing freedmen people. You asked me what do I mean by FBA. I said freedmen, and y'all got offended because you didn't want to get identified as
Because
an
that's
FBA.
that's historically inaccurate when you talk about that. So you're talking about a
FBA is a
specific group of
freedman.
people.
FBA
Right, it
is
is.
All right.
the
But in the
descendants of
context of the
slaves. Like
conversation.
We are the
it's all
descendants
the
of
same.
the
It's all the
freedmen.
same thing.
But no.
Y'all,
You were saying negative things, right, about FBA being condescending, and I asked you to clarify. Are you speaking
I
about
never
all
said that.
Black Americans in general, or are you speaking about this
I think you
FBA?
got me mixed up with someone else. I
No,
never
we
said
don't.
FBS
No,
was
we don't. No, we don't.
condescending.
No, you
Yeah,
got
we
me
don't
mixed
got
up
you
because
mixed.
I
You was
asked you
just
what a
up
power
here.
bottom was.
That's crazy.
Can I speak?
The gentleman said something. I said, what about Africa? I
Oh,
wanted to
who's
clarify
who's
that.
going?
What was
Go
that?
ahead, and then you can say what you wanted to say.
Host, Tariq is responding, and then Clean is next. I don't know why this guy keeps coming off his mic.
Yeah, the Ghanaian brother. He said, "What did I say about Africa?" You said, I painted Africa with a broad brush."
You said Africans don't got no culture. Africans ain't never did nothing good. And then you try to paint all the.
I never said that. I never said that.
Yo,
sir.
I listen to your lives, man. You said that.
When have I said that?
You said that on a TikTok live that Africans ain't got no culture.
I've never said that, sir. I've never
That is not even one of our talking points.
said y'all did nothing good. I've never said that.
Bro, you
don't do that. Don't do that.
Ever since the FBA movement, which like I said, I get Ghanaians or Niger.
Don't say that though. Don't lie. I didn't say that, bro.
You literally said that. You said that like a month ago.
I never said Africans never did anything good. I've never said that's
okay.
Not true.
You said Africans ain't got no culture.
I probably said somebody in a certain place didn't have no culture because they say that we don't, and we are.
Because you said Africans ain't got no language.
Okay. Was that stated here on this panel today? You ain't got no, like, come on, bro. We moving on with that.
A few moments later.
Oh, who was going?
All right.
I don't think CPT got an opportunity to finish Orlando's plan.
All right. Can I come in now?
It's Clean and then CP.
All right. Thank you. And there's another brother from Ghana as well. I just want to chip in with the question we have here, okay? The term FBA, I consider that to be another division adding to the supremacy that we have here in America. If we all have ever read the book Divide and Conquer, these people here are actually trying to divide us. So you coming out.
Wait a minute. Did he just say FBA, the term Foundational Black American, is a divisive ethnonym? Like that sounds what? So what should we be called? Just generic Africans? Yo, the dude said FBA by itself. He said the hell what it stands for, the hell what it's defined as, the hell what it symbolizes. We don't have the right. This tether just said we don't have the right to define ourselves away from our enslavers. Right? We got to take on Negro. We got to take on color, like I guess people of color or minority. This is why I say, family, when it comes to Africans, I'm good. I'll pass on any relationships. I ain't talking about personal friendships. I might meet a cool African here and there. I'm talking about like large, alliances with Africans. I'll pass. I'll let Russia continue those relationships with Africans in place of us.
Now put this FBA thing and trying to look like a supremacy among your fellow blacks, you just actually creating a division for them to come and use to fight your own. So to me, I see them, and I don't want anybody to be offended here. I see them as Uncle Tom lifestyle.
We are offended. There's no such thing as a fellow black if you're not of the lineage. The only fellow blacks are of the lineage. That's it. If you're of the continent of Africa, you're an African, my guy. You're not black.
Whenever I see anybody identify themselves as FBA, I'm very skeptical of mingle with you because I feel like you can betray me.
Let me ask.
Yeah, betray you like the way you betrayed us and sold us to the white tea people. Dude, we're not linking up with you, my guy. We're not looking to embrace you, to unite with you at all. Like, you didn't get the memo. We're trying to give it to you. We're trying to give you the memo, my guy. We're trying to give you the memo.
Can I ask you something, sir?
Yes, sir.
The 43 million black people in America who don't come from immigrant backgrounds, what are they?
No, I cannot say that. I don't know anybody. I cannot say anything about anybody. I'm just using what I'm seeing here. I've been here 20 years, and anyone that identifies FBA, trust me, I know how they speak and how they even treat people like myself.
God, I'm asking you, 45 million people who are black in America who don't come from immigrant backgrounds, do they exist or are they invisible?
That is not what we're discussing here, and I don't want to go there.
That's exactly what we're discussing. That's what we're discussing, sir.
No. If you don't
mind,
the point.
Because y'all don't want us to exist.
No,
so y'all want us to be invisible.
Can I finish, brother, if you don't mind?
All right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You have your own perspective, and I cannot challenge you on that. Okay, I have mine as well, and so at least we need to respect that. boundary, because you can say whatever you want to say, and I'm not going to challenge you. That's your opinion. I respect that. But me personally, like I said, I live here 20 years. All the people that identify themselves as FBAs, trust me, I know what they do. I see them as Uncle Tom. And everybody can take it as whatever they want, but that's what I see.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Thank you for that. It's my opinion.
You can't, only we could define who a tether is, only we could define who Uncle Tom is. Those are our talking points. You don't know what an Uncle Tom is. We got to tell you what it is. And we are the measuring stick. Foundation Black Americans are the measuring stick to who an Uncle Tom is, to who a tether is, and to who a devil is. Those are all of our cultural terms. You got to wait for us to tell you who is who. Just like we go to Africa and we're around those tribes, right? We got to know who is who the way you label each other.
Opinion. And when I meet people like that, I'm very careful in dealing with them because I can see they can betray me. So, no.
Okay. These are feelings. Okay,
Yes.
that doesn't change our lineage, though.
Absolutely.
All of that you just said,
The-
that
the-
doesn't
the-
change my, sir, I can go to a tombstone in Alabama and point to my lineage physically. I can point to my people in this ground. And
Can I
what you
finish
just
my
said
statement if you
change
don't
that.
mind? Can
Go
I
ahead,
finish?
sir.
Uh-huh. Whatever anybody identify themselves to be, it's not a problem for me. You can be whatever you want to be. That's okay. Me, like I said earlier, I'm a Ghanaian and Ashanti to be precise. I stand for peace and unity.
Wait a minute. Now we can be who we want to be. You just said earlier, if anybody say the FBA, that was a problem.
Anybody knows about this or he know what I'm talking about. So anything that I feel like it belongs to me, anybody that I see as my own color, I feel like I don't care if you speak the same language as mine or you call my name or you don't want to call, I see you as me. And
I got to stop you, bro. We don't look at people by color. That is some African tribal garbage, right? You look at each other as color. As a matter of fact, you're lying because all of you are black as midnight and you can't get along for shit in your homeland. You guys have tried to unite on the color thing and it did not work. You guys, tribal affairs are what divide you. It's not the color. So work out your tribal shit.
I see myself in you. So at the moment you see yourself, you're unique.
But do you see other tribes as your tribe? That's the question for you. Do you see other tribes as your tribe?
And don't want to accept me? I'm not going to fight you. You are doing you. That's fine. But I'm very careful with you because you showing me a sign that I have to be careful. That's my opinion.
Got it. And let me ask you this. You Ghanaian, right?
Absolutely.
So you think people, foundational Black Americans who recognize their lineage are to you Uncle Toms, right?
To my experience and from what I've experienced in their hand, I see them as such.
Got it.
Unless they prove me wrong.
That's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. You're Ghanaian. You're from Ghana. Y'all got the Elmina Castle. Y'all sold us.
Bro,
Who's the Uncle Tom?
You're going
Who's the
different
Uncle
ways.
Tom? Who's the Uncle Tom? Who
Can you
comes from
listen?
an Uncle Tom lineage?
Can you listen
Y'all were
again
selling
so you can
people,
understand
sir.
this?
Y'all got the Elmina Castle still there as a tourist attraction.
We didn't
Who
sell.
was the real
No,
Uncle
we didn't.
Toms? Who was the Uncle Tom, sir?
Can I answer you? Because
Go ahead,
I
answer
really,
that,
I'm not.
please.
Wait a minute. I thought I heard somebody in the background say we didn't sell y'all. Family, I told you that's all they do is deny the obvious truth. Okay, hold on. I got to remind you. All they do is lie and say that they did not sell us. Like, this is how they get around not apologizing to us. This is how they get around not reconciling with us. All those fancy words to embrace or right the wrong, the way they get around it is just denialism. Look.
Them to slavery as opposed to seeing it as, first of all, why do you believe the white man's history so much? I went to boarding school in Cameroon and I learned that one of the tactics that they used to get Africans in the slaves in the ships, they stole them literally. They would what's the word? They would come to the chief and say, hey, we just need a couple of men to work for this X amount of time, and those men would never come back. I mean, there were so many different sneaky ways that they got people away, do you think Africans were proud to?
Okay, so
I would like to say something as well.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead, Rashad.
You have the women of Dahomey. They were doing, I think it was 75% of slaves that came through the transatlantic slave trade came straight through there. Matter of fact, they had, if I remember right, they had a tree. They used to have their slaves walk around called the tree of forgetfulness because they didn't want, when them slaves died over there, their spirits to come back and haunt them. They were brutal with their tactics, cutting jaws off, killing.
What are your sources? Where is this from?
Google. Zora Neale Hurston. Zora Neale Hurston is one of the greatest.
I have never heard that in my life.
Okay.
The effort of Black Americans, that it was because of maybe their sacrifice that Africans were able to come to America, and I disagree with that. I disagree because Black Americans, just as my brother here, Ovie, stated, they did not participate in my effort to coming to America.
So the civil rights movement led by us, majority us, primarily us, that didn't contribute to him coming to America. It was the good old white T man, right? Got you. It was a good old white T man. Let me put the cash app right there where it's visible. It was a good old white T man. You feel me? So family, this is the mentality of those that we're dealing with. You got to know that. You got to know who you're listening to and who you're talking to. You're talking to these guys, all right, who believe that our civil rights movement in this country didn't benefit them coming over here at all. That's what I said. I'm good with them as a collective. Yeah, I don't have no friends right now as an African, but I wouldn't, reject an African, associate, friend, of basketball, bowling, but as a collective, I'll pass.
Not good interjection, so if you don't mind, okay, I can let you talk when you talk.
Go ahead.
Remember this, I said something here that whatever anybody identified themselves to be, I don't have issue with that. Remember very well, the Elmina Castle was built not by all Ghanaians. Remember that very well. So if something happened at that point, whoever group that came up together for whatever plan, that brought the Elmina Castle, I'm not going to sit here and say all Ghanaians did that. I can't say that.
No. You just said anybody who, because of some interactions you had with, I guess, some Foundation of Black Americans that kind of went left, you said anybody who identifies as FBA as an Uncle Tom. That means you and other Ghanaians are Uncle Toms too, because that Elmina Castle was sitting right up there and y'all was selling people. You don't get to say it was just them, not all of us, because you put all of us in the Uncle Tom bus, sir.
Yep. You make blanket statements, we are making blanket statements.
See how that works?
Okay, listen to me again.
Oh,
I said, unless they prove me otherwise, because they show me that behavior, they showing it to me, right? I live here for 20 years and I see them doing it.
Why do we have to
it to me? They're doing that to my children.
Sir, who are you to prove anything to? Why would we have to prove anything to you?
Oh, I'm not, you make it like we're arguing, but I'm not good with that. It's a conversation.
I have not raised my voice.
Okay. If that is the case, I think I finished my submission, so we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
There you go. Yeah. Who are you to try to?
The minute he got pushed back and got cooked and got caught on his illogical statements, he ran. Okay. They all gets to running when we start to respond to their hatred and nonsensical bullshit. They all do that. Okay, well, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, and I think like when we just being historically accurate with these things, we got to understand that yes, it was the kings and the chieftains of these respective African nations that was making these decisions, and the local population, the average population, didn't really have much to do with it, and we know majority.
Oh no! You can make that same argument for white people during Jim Crow and slavery. You can say it was only 4 to 10%. No, it was like 4 to 8% of the people who actually had slaves. You can say that. Same thing for America. Cannot say that. Even though 4 to 8% of white Americans or white T people were slave owners, that doesn't mean that the rest of the nation wasn't complicit. Okay, Germany got blown up. Everybody ain't put on a Nazi flag. Everybody didn't go and fight in Russia or, do the criminal things that Hitler did, but they're part of the same nation. They represent the same nation, so they all get it the same. No, those Africans did not rebel against their kings and say, no, this is wrong. No, 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 no. They were complicit and they benefited from that slavery system. Okay. Same thing in America. Everybody who immigrates here, their ancestors didn't necessarily take a part in slavery, but they benefit from the spoils of slavery. So they all will be penalized. You did. They're gonna pay. Somebody you did one way or another. So no, we're not doing that. Just the African kings, and we're not doing it. It was just the slave masters. We're not doing that.
Majority of us was kidnapped and brought over here anyway. Do we got any more questions? Like anybody got anything they want to say? Can we move on?
Yeah, CPT was next. And then you have
CPT.
people. Yeah, you have people in the box. So if you want me to, I could rotate the one.
Nah. I mean, shit. Yeah, you get 3D. You can go. Yeah, Molly. Yeah. We can rotate.
Okay, so I'll rotate the ones who've already asked questions. Go ahead, CPT.
Yeah, and I'll drop down too after I so yeah, I was scrolling, I seen the thing, so I stopped. I was gonna respond to the prompt, never got a chance. Am I FBA? Yes. I was in here, especially I came in kind of when 3D was talking, and he basically said that he agreed with FBA doing delineation. Mm-hmm. And then y'all jumped on the man, so I didn't hear him say nothing degrading. And actually, I was trying to point out, hey, he's actually asking me. But I never got a chance to speak. My mic kept getting muted. And as an FBA, I'm kind of used to it when I go in these spaces.
Well, now, as an African American, I really truly don't give a fuck.
As FBA, he's probably an honorary tether. That's probably what he is.
Because that ain't what happened. What he did was made a conflation, and we corrected his ass. But you can continue.
You saying corrected, but actually he was addressing FBA, right?
Anyways, continue, because he conflated all FBA and African Americans and Black Americans as being the same thing. But we know there are distinctions to be made amongst the people and demographics. So, but come on, say what you saying, bro. Before I move on.
Well, that's what I want to say. I'll drop down from there.
All right,
but I heard him. He didn't say nothing degrading to nobody.
All right, appreciate it. Angel, Daily Angel.
Hello. I just wanted to address that.
I'm sorry, Daily.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad, niggas. Go ahead.
You good. So it's Keisha, then Earlman, then Angel.
Okay, so during this feed, you have literally denied that. Well, you don't agree that FBA can be compared to the mindset of FBA, at least, can be compared to the Great Replacement theory, even though it's very evident, like it's not the Great Replacement theory mindset is exactly what
pro in the politics, and that don't mean nothing. The African American ethnic group or racial group, you're trademarking a shirt with the name of ridiculous. That's not even an adult American is trademarked. About lineage, Great Replacement, and COINTELPRO and the politics, and that don't mean nothing. I don't care about none of that. I'm all about lineage. That's it.
If it's a lineage, then why would you word mark it or trademark it? Why would you not give it a chance to be a lineage? You have control over it. No one can. Okay, so I want you to say it right here, right now. So if they were to go and make T-shirts, make mugs, make hoodies, and put Foundational Black American on it, if they were to go and do a GoFundMe, you're cool with that, right? For the record, you're okay with them capitalizing on the name Foundational Black American. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, because people already do it. There's clothes, hats, shirts, FBA stuff all over by the thousands. I have nothing to do with it. I don't go around suing people. Don't work like that. African American is trademarked. Igbo is trademarked. Yoruba is trademarked. That's a bad faith argument. If you could trademark something and be the leader and control a group, you think it's that easy? That's ridiculous. That's not even an adult conversation. That's childlike and that's trollish. And this is why
African
people are
American is not
deluded.
trademarked. We've had this conversation many times. It's
Yeah,
not.
it is. Yes, it is. African American is trademarked. That's been proven. You can go look it up. Lying about it doesn't change that fact.
All right, family, let's deal with the trademark lie that they want to spend. For one, we see that almost everything that was dedicated to Foundation Black Americans, we seen non-FBAs market off it, t-shirts, flags. What do you want? Okay, go back over there. Yeah, we seen people non-FBAs trademark it. They have their little their little setups. What's that called? They're vendors, right? All of in a Foundation Black American event, you'll have non-FBAs vendoring with things that we will buy, like flags, all type of stuff over there when you don't trademark it. By the way, are you guys familiar with this? So let's debunk the double standard. Hold on. So by the way, Black American Heritage flag, Melvin Charles, he believed we were heritage Black Americans. Okay. That's really close. Okay. Do you know this flag is copyrighted? I mean, it's trademarked. That's smart. You got to trademark it. You got to trademark your property because again, you control the narrative. Now I'm gonna let Tariq speak for himself in a second. By the way, this is my other channel, Lineage TV. I went live late last night. We watched some police body cam where they was arresting fellow officers charged with DUIs. We watched some YNs being arrested, gun, drugs. You know, we just having fun. So tap into Lineage TV. And the dude that keep asking about Tether, nobody give answers in the chat. All right. Let them call in. That's the whole point of a link pinned for questions like that. Because a lot of times they just be trolling. They're not sincere. So we can't sense sincerity from the chat. So that's the link to subscribe to my other channel where we just go in on people, have fun, ICE agents beating up on Karens, all that type of stuff. There you go. Yeah, but yeah, when they ask what a tether is, have them call in, or what's the next step? What's the goal? All those tether talking points, typical tether talking points. Have them call in and ask those in real time. All right. Do not bail them out. Do not bail them out. There's no way that they can even ask what a tether is if they never heard it before. Like there's something called context. When you put words in a context, you can grasp the sentence. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's stuck. Yeah, you can grasp the context just off or the definition by the context that we use it in, the consistent context that we use it in. By the way, all right.
Fun about it, sir. We've had this conversation many times. You claim that but you have even said that you cannot trademark a lineage. You said you cannot trademark. So if you cannot trademark a lineage,
you can trademark a name for products that's associated with a lineage, just like African American. You're not trademarking the African American ethnic group or racial group. You're trademarking a shirt.
All right, caller, you called in. What's up? Unmute yourself.
With the name of an ethnic group.
I mean, do that. Okay, caller, you there?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Why are you so low? And mute your background, the video, because I'm hearing some replay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you better now. You got to speak up a little bit. You're definitely low.
Okay, let me turn it up a little bit. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound better.
Okay. Yeah, so you asked me to call in. That's right. I was trying to find out what I think, is it a tether? What
Yeah.
does
So let
that
me ask you
mean?
this. Got you. Give me some background. What country are you originally from?
I'm from Ghana.
Okay. How'd you hear the word tether?
Online, because I've
Like,
been listening to
what,
a few
was
people
it a
talk
post?
about it.
Was it a post? Was it a post or was it somebody using the word as they were speaking?
It was somebody using the word.
Okay. Okay. So a tether, it just means any foreigner, not just African, not just Caribbean. It could be a Latino foreigner. It could be a European foreigner. It could be a Chinese Asian foreigner. Any foreigner that comes to America, my homeland, and disrespect Foundation Black Americans, undermine us, sabotage us, speak against our interests, you become a tether.
Oh, okay. Okay. 'Cause I wasn't sure because I thought it was interchangeably being used for just a foreigner.
No, that has never been interchangeably used as a foreigner. Yeah, that's not true. Hold on one second. Let me get the balloon. Maybe tied up. Yeah, my bad. I had to run out real fast. Earth balloon flew away. Yeah, but the definition came from Tariq Nasheed. So you can't, nobody can remix the original definition. The original definition
I
is
see.
exactly what I said it was. So if anybody spin the definition, that's not authentic, it's not legitimate. But it just means
Okay. So
it's a verb for a person who as what I just said, it's a verb. And if you're known for that, if you're always behaving like that, then that verb becomes a noun. Then that person cannot disassociate themselves or detach themselves away from the name any longer. Okay.
I see. Okay. So how do you quantify who a tether is?
Daddy, don't let go. That'll fall away.
Okay. So I don't think
Outside
it's
of the fact
hard.
that they're a foreigner.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got to be a foreigner because we have an internal name for people of my lineage who, like Larry Elder. Larry Elder can do the same actions as a foreigner, and we label him as a coon. We got the coon, Uncle Tom. We got labels for those who are within the lineage.
No, I understand that. So what I'm saying is like, how do you quantify what a tether is in terms of like what actions would you consider
So I just said that. I said
somebody?
if you're speaking against our interest, our personal interest, right now we are delineating. We have a reparations claim that goes back 2016. Okay, we're asking for justice. We're asking for redress for Jim Crow and all the social ills that affected us, that which you won't know much about, but White T knows about. When people like a foreigner that comes into political office, right, and they're saying, "Nah, the hell with that. We're gonna go this way." That's a tether. Now you're speaking against our interests. What we're demanding from our government.
Okay. So what about criticism? Like, what if you're criticizing Black
What is the
Americans?
nature of the, what is the nature? Got you. What is the nature of the criticism? Give me an example.
Okay, like this whole delineation thing, you know. I just feel like, well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was trying to kind of get the definition of a tether because I'm hearing multiple things, right? And
wait, hold on. No.
Like so.
Wait, hold on. Wait. You asked me a definition. I gave you the exact definition, and I told you who from the horse's mouth who came up with the word.
Oh no,
or not the word.
I
Right. So
understand
hold
that
on.
now.
Wait. So, but let's talk about delineation. What is your issue with that? What is your criticism with delineation?
Okay, so I understand the premise of the delineation, right? Because to be honest with you, there are, there are Africans who actually get upset when they're identified as Black Americans. You know, so I
Right.
understand
That's crazy.
why.
Right. Don't you think that's crazy for me to, like, let's say if there was something for Haitians because of what they went through with the French government. Don't you think that'll be a problem if I'm classified as a Haitian and now I'm reaping resources and monies and land and things like that from the French government that's entitled to Haitians? Don't you think they'll probably say, hey, that's not right. You know, you got to stick within your government and get was intended for you and your lineage.
Can you clarify that? Like,
okay.
What do you
Have
mean,
you ever
like, in
heard
terms
of the?
of-
Have you ever heard of the? Okay, I'm just not play stupid, my guy. Have you ever? And you might not sincerely know, but have you
No,
ever heard of the
I'm
Haitian?
just
Okay.
asking.
So listen, I got it. I'm not gonna do the talking in circles, my guy. I kick people off really fast. Okay, so have you ever heard of the Haitian Revolution? Yes or no?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so those people were wronged by France, correct? Right, and they had Dessalines who said we're Haitians, 1804. He wasn't talking to me. He wasn't talking to you. He was talking to those people on that island, right? Right. So if they're going to seek redress from France, you're not entitled to that in Ghana, and I'm not entitled to that in America, right? Just Haitians,
fair.
right? Okay. Right.
That's fair.
That's called delineation. They're delineating. They're saying only we went through this. Okay. Now let's talk about the Hutus and Tutsis. Are you familiar with the Rwanda thing where the I think the French government was involved in that too? Okay. Yeah, right. So they inflamed that genocide. So if they get any redress, any compensation for that, only those people involved are entitled to that. Not us, not the Haitians, not Jamaicans, not Brazilians, right?
And that's fair, yeah.
Okay, now this last part. So if everybody's entitled to reap benefits from the harm that a colonizer had bestowed on them, and they're being diluted, where people don't even recognize the harmed, can't identify the harmed people anymore. It's like anybody's almost being classified as a harmed Tutsi, Hutu, Burundi, whoever. That's a problem. Because now it's like, hey, this guy is from Jamaica, Nigeria, or anybody that's coming over here are coming over for these sole purposes, for these set asides or these allocation of money. We can't have that, right? We gotta, the government is undermining us. Hey, stop sending anybody, stop welcoming anybody over here to be attached to what was specifically done for us. So they would delineate and say, no, they're not Tutsis, they're not Hutus, they're not Burundis. They come from another country. We are those people who were harmed and put it against each other by the French, right? That's also called delineation. We're doing that in America.
And that's fair. Like, I have no problem with delineation, right? But my whole thing is, why are Africans, right? Because that seems to be the narrative, being blamed for something that the government is. Because I think the issue
nobody's blaming. No, nobody. You're stepping in the way of the blame. We're blame. We always blame the white T man for reparations. You never was a thought, my guy. Nobody from Africa, no 54 country, nobody from the 3,000 islands was a thought when we talk about reparations. It was always the white T man, right? You guys start to get on microphones, get in political positions, and say, "Nah, that's the past," and start using white T arguments to say, nah, it happened too long ago, or whatever undermining argument that people start to say. You guys got in the way. And then on top of that, we are Black Americans, right? Are you Black?
Yes, I am.
In what sense?
In terms of skin color.
Right, but we don't call ourselves Black by skin color. Do you know that?
But people identify as by the color.
No. You are identified. No, you are no. Yeah, again, we're talking about that as a play. That's why we're delineating. Our government started calling you guys Black in 1997 as a race. We call ourselves Black as an ethnonym, ethnic label, my guy. So just like you're Ghanaian as an ethnic label, and the Haitians are Haitians, and Puerto Ricans are Puerto Ricans. Well, we're Black as an ethnic nation, not as a race.
And that's understandable. But see, once here in America,
no. You're not listening, my guy. You're not listening. You're just talking. I'm saying 1997 is when you guys became black as a race. So our ethnic label it has a dual usage, which ethnic labels don't serve. They don't serve dual uses. Haitians don't serve dual usages. Ghanaians don't, Zimbabweans don't, and Italians don't. They serve a singular usage. Our ethnic identity is starting to serve a dual usage. It's describing people that has African ancestry that immigrated over here from another country as a racial category, and it's also tying us into it that has an ethnicity, as an ethnic group into the word black or African American. That's a problem. We're delineating that. So we're saying, no, you can't use our ethnic label as a dual, have a dual usage because it's causing confusion. So now when redress happens for us, reparations, monies, the thing we talked about earlier, guess who's now legally entitled to it? You, because you call yourself black and African American as well. So you guys can start, put that down. You guys could start filing lawsuits. Say, hey, all this time we were allowed. Put that down. We were allowed to be called. We were allowed to get qualify for services and money and resources based on blackness and African Americanness. Now all of a sudden, the people who were harmed from slavery, Jim Crow, penis system, all that type of stuff. Now they're about to get a payout or some land or some relocation, land or resources. Why are we not entitled to that? That's why we're delineating, so that confusion don't exist. So this is a great thing to do. Right. It's a great thing. Good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm all for it, but see, what I'm saying is like when we're in Ghana, right? We, just like you said, right? We don't identify ourselves as black, right? But once we migrate to America, right? Yeah, once we migrate to America, we are labeled, whether we like it or not, as black. So then we tend to refer to ourselves as black.
But that's called, but then you're lying. Then you're going along with the lie. That's the white supremacist lie. You immigrated here as a Ghanaian. All right. Mm-hmm. So now that's called an exonym. When you allow, that's that colonizer behavior bullshit you guys claim you're against. If you allow an outsider to rename you, that's called an exonym. That means you're giving up your sovereignty. You're saying, okay, I'm gonna drop who I really am, who we called ourselves. That's called an endonym. We're gonna drop our right to self-identify, and we're gonna take on the name of a colonizer, of an enslaver, to cause confusion. So you become willing participants of white supremacy.
So what do you think people from of African descent or people that came from Africa, right? How are they supposed to identify themselves, even though they are being identified
as Ghanaian?
Yes, but
Ghanaian Americans,
census, right? No, it's true. But on the census, right? On the census,
yeah. Oh, wait.
It doesn't.
You're talking about the OMB. No, okay, stop. It does now. You're talking about that in 2024. It does now. You're talking about the OMB, bro. Office Management and Budget, bro. Stop it. That happened because of ADOS, FBA, and people who went under U.S. freedmen. We asked to disaggregate on forms. So since 2024, a lot of major forms are asking you guys to write down your homeland, where your father's from. That's because of us. We put pressure on them in 2024. I think it was May. All right, and now we're saying that's not good enough, and we're having them look at it again, and they got to make a decision. I think March 28th, where we're trying to get FBA or ADOS or Freedmen put on the form. So these are all delineation tactics that we're saying is necessary. So this action is coming from us, not the government, because the government already made their mess. They started the confusion, they made their mess, and we know better now, and we're trying to clean it up, and we are cleaning it up. So now you said you had a problem with delineation. What is your problem with that? Go.
No, I don't have a problem with the actual delineation, right? It's just the whole xenophobic rhetoric. That's the problem. Because just what you said, right? It makes sense.
Wait. Hold on. You said xenophobic problem. Give me 1 second. You said, I want to get your thoughts on this, because you guys are Mr. and Mrs. Xenophobia. Okay. Let me throw this at you, because we're not going to start rewriting history all of a sudden when it was you guys that came to this country saying your parents taught you guys at a very early age to stay away from Black Americans, that we are lazy, that we are all these derogatory terms. That was your parents. We got Ghanaians, we got Nigerians, we got Jamaicans all over the damn planet coming to America or in their homelands, recording themselves, pressing live and telling on themselves. We got hella stories of you guys coming over here saying how you don't want to be around Black Americans, but then want to usurp our identity for allocations of money and resources. And this is why we really just don't want to fuck with y'all at all, especially y'all Africans. I'm gonna be flat out honest with you, bro. Y'all country just apologized some years ago for selling us to white man, right? And through the door of no return. You guys didn't give a damn. We were just eaten alive, cannibalism, blown up with a nuke, drowned, eaten by sharks. You guys didn't give a damn. So let me cut to the chase. Fuck all this. We don't fuck with y'all. Just like the white man did the same thing with us. We don't fuck with them. We don't fuck with y'all either. I'm gonna just be real.
And I understand that, but I feel like it's misplaced aggression. You know why? Because
it's not aggressive. We just don't fuck with y'all. Like we're not gonna attack y'all. We're not gonna conspire against y'all. Like we just don't fuck with people who sold us and bought us.
And I understand that, but see, the thing is this, right? I feel like it's not fair to put everybody in the same pot. You are definitely right about some people, right? I think you should use the word some Africans. Every African is not of the same mindset, just like every African American is not of the same mindset. You know, so you are definitely right about, that's why, like I said, I don't personally have a problem with delineation. Because just like you said, right, I'm Black, or I'm identified as Black, right?
No, because I asked you, but I asked you in what sense. See, even in your Blackness, and that's the quotation, that's what air quotes, even in your Blackness, you're not Black like us. We're Black because of our ethnogenesis, right? And our ethnicity. And that's why I'm
pretty much saying the same thing that you're saying. I just want to.
You're not because wait. I just want to have this.
If you let me finish the point, you can see what I'm saying.
You will finish. You will. But I want the chat. See, don't forget, we're not just talking, my guy. A lot of my videos sometimes get 3K, 5K. So I'm talking to 1,000 people potentially, and I don't want them to be confused. When you say Black, I want to keep reiterating where it drills in their brain. Even when he use it as air quotes, he's using it as a description of how he looks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or some African ancestry. And I want to make it clear to the chat. We don't use it like that. Okay. They are Ghanaian, whether he comes to America, Australia, Greenland, Mars. I'm a Black American. Greenland, Mars, Australia, same thing. Iraq. I'm a Black American. The AU, the African Union, they don't use Black, my guy. They use people of African descent, POAD, P-O-A-D. This is the only country that calls you guys Black as a racial category, right? Where identify, just lump y'all all up. Y'all just Black African American. And so I want that to be drilled in people's heads. But even in your Blackness, you're not Black like us. Like we are the authentic Blacks. We are Black as an endonym. You are Black as an exonym. White racist people called you Black, and you guys said, "Yep, we're Black." That's team white supremacy. But go ahead.
So what I was saying was this: I'm identified as a Black person, right, in this country. So obviously, it's not fair to you guys because I get identified just like you, right? So whatever benefit that you get, I get. Even though I can turn around and identify myself as a Ghanaian, you can't. So that's what I'm saying. I have no problem with the whole delineation process or whatever you guys are doing. The only thing that I was saying initially was the whole xenophobic, which I think you were trying to say something about.
Who is doing that? Wait, hold on, stop. You said the only issue I have is the xenophobia. So now you're classifying us as xenophobic for a few people. But when we say y'all are slave traders, you say, hey, you can't see how that works. You're saying the actions of a few Ghanaians.
Not everybody. No, not everybody. I'm just talking about some people.
Who?
Okay, so everything I've heard, right? It's
From who?
basically
From who?
online. You know,
Okay,
just online.
online.
Like you see, like
Yeah, but how many
like these
people?
online
But it could be that.
platforms.
Wait, stop. Are you talking to them or are they texting it? How are you getting aware of this
No,
information, this
just
xenophobia?
no. I'm just like how I'm tuning into you. I'm listening to some of these people talk, and I'm not saying
Okay.
everybody, you know.
No, but
But
what?
that's
Okay, now wait, hold on. See, I'm trying to get clarity. See, the thing about me, guy, I don't let people just say any old thing and then they just throw a rock and hide their hands. Now, because I'm asking you, how are you coming by these xenophobia information? I want to know, was it a chat room or a state platform? You said platform, right?
yes, just tuning into some of
Okay,
these. But like you see,
right.
I saw you
Wait, hold
online,
on.
and I was just
I
listening.
got you. But I know most of those platforms. So which platform was it?
Okay, so I've listened to some of Tariq Nasheed's um, platform, right? Some of the stuff
Yeah.
I've heard it because I think sometimes people kind of like they dub it and they'll kind of put it on their platform. So I've listened to some of that, right? And the whole rhetoric is all about, like I said, they have a point because you also it's fair. You also have some Africans who, you know, are very ignorant, right? And they have names for Black Americans and they feel a certain way. And that's why I was even telling you earlier, there are some Africans who actually get offended when they're labeled as African American. So I understand that. But what I'm saying is like, I guess putting everybody in a box, like Africans are this, Africans are that. Just like you just said, we don't mess with y'all. Like every African is not the same. You know, and that's
I
the whole
haven't met too
problem. You
many.
know,
Okay, look.
it's being so divisive
No.
because
Hey,
we
bro.
definitely do have some ignorant African American. I mean,
Hey, bro.
Africans.
You sound
We
like.
do.
Listen how you sound. You sound like a white person that's telling me about how all white people ain't racist. Like that. So, like, we already heard this position before. These talking points. Before you was even in this country in mass, I'm 48, my guy. We already heard these talking points from white people. Oh, all white people ain't racist because my aunt, she got a black friend. Like we already heard these talking points, my guy. The fact that you could come to our country, period, and say one negative thing about us is the ultimate most disrespect. Like I would never travel to Ghana, look around, I might see some stuff I might consider primitive or I would never do. I would never go to Ghana in my life and start campaigning and being public on any social media platform disrespecting the natives of the country. Like that takes a certain audacity. That takes a certain hatred. That takes a certain whatever name you want to use, uh boldness to do that. And then
Do you know where
where
that
did
comes from?
where? Here we go. Where?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. You have to understand the whole concept, right? Because you
I
have to
do.
understand. I guess some people, right? And that's why I'm saying you can't put everybody in a label. You
That
know,
guy
I feel
explain.
like
Talk.
Black Americans are very disrespected in this country, right?
Wait, hold on.
And
You said, do I know where that came from? I thought you were going to go there. Okay, so you said, do you know where that
no,
comes
no,
from?
I said, do you know why some Africans have the audacity to say what they say about you guys? That's what
Okay,
I was
I'm
trying to
listening.
say.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay,
I
and
want to
I
hear this
said
logic.
Black Americans are very disrespected in this country. And because of white supremacy, right? You know, Africa was also colonized, right? So even when you go to Africa, you have some Africans who want to be as close to westernization as possible. So they even look down on their own people and favor everything that has to do with being white. So when they come to this country, because of the narrative of Black Americans in this country, right? They pick on that and they just kind of go with it. Black Americans
Right.
are this,
And we
Black
call
Americans are that, and Black Americans are that. You know, but every
right.
African is not like that.
Wait, hold
That's what
on.
I'm saying. We do
But
have.
wait, I
Go
got
ahead.
you. We don't ever say all. Right. You could I can't say all white folks are racist. Okay. I can't say, but the people who are the most boisterous seems to be that those representation of that country because you guys don't do enough damage control where you're on the opposite end. So let me tell you. So when it comes to media in this country, you got blue and red. Red media usually paints foundation Black Americans in a negative position, right? Now we get on the libtards, because they don't use their media to counter the negative media. They say, nah, they good. No, they don't do this. They don't do that. So we say the same thing. We say, no, well, y'all ain't racist, but you allow the racists to have the loudest voice. The blue media allows the conservative media to have the loudest voice when it comes to us. But when it comes to you immigrants, no, 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 no. When the red promote ICE, the blue say no, they're terrible. They meet them halfway. Yeah, stay over here. Yeah, so they meet them halfway, and they kind of neutralize the negative perception on immigrants, illegal or legal. That never happens to us. So from our perspective, we just see it as another ethnic group hopping on team white supremacy talking points. And that's how we just see it.
Which is understandable, you know. That's why I feel like there needs to be more dialogue. Instead of negativity, there needs to be more dialogue.
But why do we need no. See,
right?
No. We don't need that, bro. We're 43 million. Your guys like 4 million. We're not even, my guy. We don't need no dialogue. You're coming to our shit. You guys are like together, all together, about 4 to 6 million. We're 43 million. We're not even. We don't got to come together at all. You're gonna bow down, and bend to what we talking about. We ain't gonna bend to the minority.
That's your opinion. You know, there are people who are Black American who don't agree with you.
No. We're not. And that's why we're delineating. Right. That's why the message is growing, because when this message first started, it was like maybe tens of 100 people agreeing with us. Now it's at thousands, probably millions, but it's growing, and guess what? They're watching these conversations right now, which is confirming. So many people. I remember DJ Genesis, Pan-African to the heart. On one platform, she started to sound like us, and then her people, that's Pan-Africans, were outing her, like, "Oh wait, you sound like Tariq Nasheed," because it's becoming just irrefutable at this point. So like people just adopting to it, and the more the message signal boost, which is happening, ABC News, okay, and Tucker Carlson, all these guys, whatever media, good or bad, as long as it's being circulated throughout the country, it is helping our cause, and more people going to be delineating, be hopping on. This is how all of our movements go, man. Nothing is overnight. The civil rights movement was 100 years, my guy. Yeah, so our movements, it take it. But look, but I'm gonna give you, but I'm gonna go on mute, and I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to go ahead, go.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for allowing me to talk. I wasn't even aware that it was a chat. So I guess people are listening to us until you specify that. But let me tell you something. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where the frustration is coming from, right? But I feel like the reason why I say it's a bit misplaced, because listen, we all suffer under white supremacy, right? Colonialism has really damaged the minds of Africans, And even I'll give you a prime example. When I migrated to this country, right, I was working somewhere, and I encountered some white people, and they, I had just come to this country, so they just said, "Hey, you're different," and I didn't even understand what they were trying to say. Then they were having a conversation among each other, and they were saying, "Oh, he's different. He's not like one of them," right? It took some time for me to actually understand what they were even referring to, which were they were referring to, I guess, like a Black American. Just because I was being polite, just because I was doing my job, they felt like I was being different, So I overheard a conversation later on where they were talking, so they asked me where I was from, right? And I said, I'm from Ghana. And they said, oh, But like I said, I just migrated to this country, so I had no idea what they were talking about. It took some time for me to understand that they were actually referring to. So what you have to understand is this. Unfortunately, we have ignorant people, right? And because of colonialism, some Africans feel a certain way. And I said they even treat their own people, right? because they feel like being westernized is the best thing that they can do. So they even treat their own people bad, you know? So I just feel like I understand where you guys are coming from, but you also have to understand that there are people who side with you. There are Africans who also agree with, because we appreciate everything that you guys have done for Africa. You know, you guys, if you go to Ghana, like, we consider you guys as big brothers and our big sisters, you know, because there are a lot of African Americans that actually live in Ghana, doing like helping people that live in Ghana, right? And even if you look at history, right, African Americans have paved the way for a lot of the liberation of different African countries, you know. So I think it's not fair to put every African in the box, just like it's not fair to put every African American in the box and say African Americans are this, African Americans are that, you know. And I understand you said you guys don't.
But
mess
you
with
just did it
Africans,
though.
and that's fine.
You just said
What
we're
do you mean?
You said
No,
just said
I
the
mean
xenophobia.
that's the message. No, not everybody, because obviously
Okay,
I
so
don't think I don't know you
outside of
personally. I'm just
xenophobia,
saying that's how we're
I
trying
got
to.
it.
Mhm.
But outside of xenophobia, you said African Americans are this, African Americans that. First of all, we don't want to be called that's a new name that was put on us as an exonym by the government. We're Black Americans, so you can say Black Americans or Black
Well,
people
Black American, well, you know,
or
because you
FBA,
know
right?
here it's used interchangeably. Black Americans, African Americans, you know, so that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah, but it wasn't originally. No, but that's a new term though. Black Americans is 1960s. African Americans 1990s. It's 30 years later. And the average but all of our history is called Black. It's called Black History Month. It's not called It's called the Black Panthers. It ain't called the African Panthers. It's called Black Wall Street, Black Reconstruction, Free Blacks in the 1800s. It ain't called African. So this whole African thing is a new term that we still don't hold on to. First Black this, Black Obama, first Black president. You feel me? Even though he ain't Black, but the word Black sticks, and we accept that more. Hey, how he look? Oh, he's Black guy. Black on Black crime. You see, ain't no African on African crime, no African American. So you kind of get the language is normally used with Black. The only time people say African American is when they want to run from Blackness. But outside of, you said African American this, African American that. Outside of xenophobia, what else could the other African American talking points be?
Yeah.
Can you please explain what you mean outside of the xenophobia? I'm just saying,
Okay.
like, the xenophobic. Okay, finish. Yeah.
Okay, you can't ask me a question and then go and start talking.
No, I didn't understand. Okay, go ahead.
Because you wanted me to clarify. You just said that Africans be having like talking points about us. Stop. They be having talking points about us. And they be saying African, like you didn't specify, but you said they say African Americans do this, African Americans that. And I was saying, what could they say outside of xenophobia? Like what else? Like, because we could say you guys come over here, undermine, sabotage, cosplay, disrespectful, team white supremacy. Like outside of calling it xenophobic, what other criticism do you have of us?
I have no criticism. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing online, and I'm not referring
online. I'm not saying you. I'm saying you're talking about Africans. I'm saying outside of calling us xenophobic, what else criticism do they have on us?
To be honest with you, like that's all I'm hearing. You know, it's just like there's whole xenophobic like
so
rhetoric.
Now explain explain an example of xenophobic rhetoric.
Okay. So basically looking down and talking down on Black on Africans.
No, we don't know. No? But you didn't say nothing though. You got to give an example of us doing that. Go ahead, give an example of us looking down and talking down on Africans. Because in our daily lives, we don't even talk about you at all, bro. Zero. You guys make up a small.
No, I'm just saying. This country. This is like that's what I said, and this is stuff like they smell, they do, like
no, stop. So no, stop right there. That'd be jokes. No. They call in.
You can't say that's jokes.
hey, my guy. You're a joke, my guy. I watch. See, you're a piece of shit, and you can't reference none of that because I watch the lives where they call in roasting Tariq Nasheed. They come over here roasting. Revenue talk about civil rights activists getting bit by dogs. No, y'all do. Y'all come over with y'all jokes or being disrespectful. So we have a roasting culture. So when you're disrespecting us, we might not always disrespect you back. We might just roast you. So when somebody's being disrespectful, all right, dude. Look, I'm good. I'm good.
You can't put
I'm
everybody in the
good.
same
Yeah,
box.
I'm good.
That's
I'm
all
good.
I'm
I'm good.
saying.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, have a nice day. I'm good. Good. I'm not gonna do that. All right. So the last person who called, you could call back in. Hey, my fault. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, but the last person called in. All right, so the last person that called in, called back in. Maybe you had a different spin. Yeah, but this guy, it gets into the circular reasoning, talking in circles, which I hate, which he did. Like he asked what tether meant. I told him what it meant. I even gave him the source of the definition, and he still talked about what he's hearing online. I'm like, dude, I'm giving you the guy who made up the definition for how we use it. That's exactly how he defined it. And he's still talking about, oh, but online, I heard it used this way. I can't do nothing with that. Right. Then I'm like, what are we doing that's so bad towards Africans? Oh, you're talking down. How are we talking down? Oh, musty. Well, when we call you musty, it's because you're engaging with us and you're actually being disrespectful. I said we don't always handle disrespect with disrespect. Sometimes we just roast. That's a roasting culture. So when y'all saying we're lazy, we're xenophobic, we're saying you're musty and dusty, and you got a cat burger somewhere in your refrigerator. That's what we're doing. That's roasting. That's our culture. But there's no we got to get along with you, dude. Like you're so irrelevant in America, bro. We don't need y'all for shit. We don't be let's go get the Ghanaian population to vote on this matter or that matter or this matter. We want to pass this election. We don't do that. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the video so I can dance. I gotta get my other power cord. This power cord is tripping. Yeah, so I ain't about to go down that talking in circles with this guy. All right, so let me get back to the video. God damn. And the last
My
person.
only question for you is: are you the founder? My only other question for you.
These patents.
Okay, so yeah, let Tariq respond to the patent thing. Then I'm gonna respond. But the last person who called in, if you're still around, call back in, man. Not the guy who I just kicked off. And this is why I'm good with all of them. You dig? Well, all of them. Because it just get like that. Like they want to act like it's even. They want to act like they didn't say what they said about us. He just said that a lot of Africans, they adopt white supremacist views about us when they come over here. They want to westernize. Bro, that's a problem. Now, there's no history of us adopting white supremacist views about you guys. We used to embrace you guys as black, as an honorary black person once upon a time ago. That's out.
Patterns with some of these folks who have these vitriolic views of us, and we have to recognize it for what it is. That's not pain.
All right, so I think I might have clicked out of where I was. So let me get back to the trademark. Here we are.
That's it.
If it's a lineage, then why would you word mark it or trademark it? Why would you not give it a chance to be a lineage? You have control over it. No one can. Okay, so I want you to say it right.
Now, family, there's no such thing as give it a chance to be a lineage. That means you're just, what she's saying is why protect it? Why not leave it unprotected until it becomes an official lineage. Therefore, no. If it's unprotected, you got tethers right now saying Foundation Black Americans is a whole bunch of other things. Got jokes on what FBA, the acronym, means. Can you imagine had it been unprotected?
Right here, right now. So if they were to go and make T-shirts, make mugs, make hoodies, and put Foundational Black American on it, if they were to go and do a GoFundMe, you're cool with that, right?
Wait. He don't got to be cool with that. So right now, there's an NBA. There's a National Basketball Association. You can make an NBA T-shirt. Like we do that today. Like look how many jerseys out there, like that people sell jerseys. That's not authentic. I bought a couple. You dig? How many? Like there's a lot of stuff that's out there. A lot of fake Louis Vuitton, and you can make anything you want. Now you can't have a legitimate business, but you can make whatever you want. And guess what? You can go and get Louis Vuitton and spell that with 2 L's. You can say Foundation Black American something else or something foundation. Yeah, you can't use the exact same words for merchandise legally, but you can use those words and add to it. Be creative.
For the record, you're okay with them capitalizing on the name Foundational Black American. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, because people already do it. There's clothes, hats, shirts, FBA stuff all over by the thousands. I have nothing to do with it. I don't go around suing people. Don't work like that. African American is trademarked. Igbo is trademarked. Yoruba is trademarked. That's a bad faith argument. If you could trademark something and be the leader and control a group, you think it's that easy? That's ridiculous. That's not even an adult conversation. That's childlike and that's trollish. And this is why
African American is not trademarked. We've had this conversation many times. It's not.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. African American is trademarked. That's been proven. You can go look it up. Lying about it doesn't change that fact.
All right, so now let's get to the trademark. Okay, so trademarking, an acronym that will eventually evolve into an ethnic or social label, is really a high-level strategic maneuver. I've been talked about this. Okay, so you gotta understand this, family. This ain't a friendly world. This ain't a friendly country. This is a world of intellectual property. Okay, so what Tariq Nasheed did, family, is called defensive trademarking. By him trademarking Foundation Black American, which he hoped, which is going that way, but when he came up with Foundation Black American, he was hoping that would replace or kick to the side ADOS and whatever else is out there, any other competing labels, and he hoped that that will be our permanent ethnic identity, ethnic label, ethnic name. So with those hopes, he trademarked it. That is called defensive trademarking. Okay. And by defensing trademarking something, it acts as a legal fortress, which Tariq Nasheed already explained. That prevents opponents like tethers and white tees from weaponizing the law against a movement of delineation and a movement of reparations. You feel me? But oh my God, this guy keeps fucking messing, keep looking at me. Okay. So you have to trademark a name you think will eventually evolve into an ethnic label, ethnic name. Okay. You do it to prevent trademark squatting. Okay. So the most immediate benefit is preventing critics, or what we call bad faith actors, from registering the mark themselves. If we leave it unprotected, untrademarked, can anybody with a straight face say that nobody will come behind and trademark Foundation Black America, especially the way it blew up today? You're telling me nobody, what's that, 9 years later, 8 years later, 7 years later, right now, with some paper, with trademark Foundation Black American, when they see it, the stock is going up, stop it. Okay, now, listen, we are gaining traction, right? So now we don't have a trademark. A critic could legally, a hater, a troll, a white tea supremacist, a tether, could legally register the acronym for, look, They could register it for educational services or clothing. They could then issue a cease and desist orders to the original creator, founder, Tariq Nasheed, effectively evicting the name from being used from the founder and us who are of the lineage. A cease and desist. This is what they're mad. Okay, so by securing the trademark first, he said, well, why not let it evolve into a lineage and then no, stupid lady. Honorary tether, suspected tether. By securing the trademark first, the original narrative, the desire for it ensures that even heavy critics who hate the label who hate the ethnonym, hate the acronym, they cannot own it or stop anyone from selling books, shirts, hosting events under the banner. All right. Now, the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, has a specific rule. Listen, you cannot trademark something that is merely an informational, social, or political message, e.g., the USPTO has repeatedly denied Black Lives Matter for this reason. You see? So by trademarking an acronym early, before it is widely recognized, you dumb bimbo, you don't wait till it becomes widely recognized. You do it when it's really small, evolving to something great. They won't let anybody trademark Black Lives Matter after it blew up. So again, before it is widely recognized as a common social message, the founders, Tariq Nasheed, can argue it is a suggestive mark or a unique source identifier for our specific products, like a podcast or some type of clothing line, right? So once the trademark is secured for goods and services, it becomes much harder for the government to cancel it later just because it has become a popular ethnic identifier. So a trademark doesn't just protect the name, it protects the brand's integrity, which Tariq Nasheed spoke about before. So we got to talk about licensing and quality control. If a group or a person owns a trademark, they can stop heavy critics from making parody. Look what you can do now. You can stop heavy critics from making parody merchandise or low quality products that use the acronym to mock our delineation movement, our reparations movement, or just our lineage in general. We have legal standing. So having a federal registration gives us a standing in court. If a major corporation tries to diversity launder using the acronym to sell products without support of the lineage, the trademark owner can sue for damages. Okay, here you go. So yeah, so we're not gonna make believe that is negative. So we put some straightening on why it's necessary to Kai Bo whatever 4991, you're lying. You got to come with a bag. Ghana want to know our bro. We already know that. We already know it, bro. Ghana want to know what we have in a bank account. They want to know our credit history, bro. Stop lying, bro. Stop lying. Ain't nobody going to Ghana, man. All right. So anyway, they still trying to do. They are still trying to do a switcheroo. Yo, come to Ghana. It's so beautiful. Come to Ghana. Why they here? So we start going to Ghana, realizing it ain't what they said it was, and they all over here as Black African Americans, living like us, claiming what we built. All right. So let me move on from that to now we could talk about this. Hold on. I hate this new feature that Zoom has. This is annoying. All right. So now we can move that to ant. Okay, hold on 1 second. This fucking laptop. Okay. So now look at this piece of shit guy. This line tether. Listen to this.
Black History Month. I hate doing this on Black History Month, but I'm growing tired of hearing African Americans try to diminish what our ancestors in the Caribbean contributed to this country. Because for some reason, African Americans believe that
again, calling us African Americans and not calling us Black Americans, but he wouldn't call his own people African anything. I guarantee you, because they say that he Caribbean, I guarantee you, buddy finna say something and he finna just say.
And yeah, the reason why they call us African American because they call themselves that. Like that's a way to tether on and hijack. Like they like he said, they know they're not Black. So, but they're African. They're Africans and Americans. So that works better for them. So they want to call us that to act like we're just as African in America as them. We're like equal, we're even.
Jamaican or just say Haitian. He not about to say African Jamaican, African Haitian, African none of that. He just gonna call him his own. Everybody that's from his Caribbean countries get to be where they from, but we got to be associated with Africa. Let's keep going though.
To this country, because for some reason African Americans believe that Caribbean people, West Indian people, did not contribute, nor were they enslaved in America, just like they were. And what I'm going to do is show you that we contributed the same, if not more, to the U.S. economy. Not only that, I am going to prove to you that our people were here just like your people were also.
And yeah, this guy is delusional and a revisionist, and this is why it's hard to rock with some of these folks.
The same struggles you had to go through, my people went through it. As a matter of fact, it is recorded that our people in the Caribbean had more brutal treatment than the slaves in the U.S. Our mortality rate was even way higher.
That's true right there, but that's going to come back to bite you. You're not going to like the stats on that.
Than y'all's. Let's start with the transatlantic slave trade. Our people came from Africa to the Caribbean and then to America. That simply meant that our people in the Caribbean were also mixed up with the people that came from Africa that eventually made their way to the U.S.
Wrong. People didn't go, they didn't all just go to the Caribbean and then go to America. Most of the people that actually went to the transatlantic slave trade actually went to Brazil, you stupid buck-toothed beaver, wide gap, wide mouth, messed up hairline, which is why you got this hat on your head.
Huh?
That's the truth. The majority of those people that went through that transatlantic slave trade actually went to South America. Most of them never even stepped foot on American soil because Black Americans actually have Native American indigenous roots, which your people don't really have. And then a good amount of those people did go to the Caribbean. A very small percentage. It's actually less than 3% of the so-called African slaves that came over here ever made it to America. So you just lying and just making stuff up. Just making stuff up because you want to be included in. I don't got no citizenship papers. That's the difference between me.
This is the problem with them saying they're Black. The key to lineage is Black. All right. So we let them say they're Black. We gave them the key.
I didn't have to come over here on no banana boat. I ain't roll my ass over here. My people been here.
Mixed up with the people that came from Africa that eventually made their way to the U.S. Before the 1670s, most enslaved people in Maryland and Virginia were brought from the West Indies, the Caribbean. Even a small island like Antigua, where my people are from, we trace our roots back since the 1700s, coming to Charleston, South Carolina.
How you trace?
Wait, before Ant get him, let me address this. When he say that they contribute to U.S. economy more than us, that's an unprovable blanket statement he just made up. Okay, Caribbean had their plantation and they brought in a lot of wealth for the Caribbean, but that doesn't automatically translate into more contribution to the U.S. Economy. Okay, because because we had a lot going over here. So I mean, I don't even know where to go from there.
Our roots back since the 1700s, coming to Charleston, South Carolina.
How you trace your roots back? What paperwork did y'all have to where you could trace your roots back? How? Because I actually traced my roots back. I went back to 1723. How did you trace your roots back to the 1600s? What paperwork did your people have in Antigua for you to say that you trace your roots back? This nigga lying. Unless he shows some like proof, which I've showed proof. My 8-time great-grandfather, Gregory Stallings Jr., show in North Carolina. Show some proof, my nigga.
Over 12.5.
Because them is undeveloped countries. So what paperwork was y'all ever having as far like those countries is undeveloped? What is we talking about?
A million Africans were shipped to the Americas, but only 3 to 4% of them made it to the USA.
Right.
Most of those people came through the Caribbean first. It's recorded that even before the 17.
I'm sure some of them did, but most of them, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But even if they did or if they did it, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, regardless if they went to the Caribbean first, they still, the people that made it to America are still a part of our ethnic group because they mixed.
Right, because they don't understand what that means, the ethnogenesis. They don't understand, like I said, you could come to America first, to this country first, and then you get shipped out to Jamaica. You're not American, you're Jamaican. So it's not about first to be somewhere. It's about where you foundational there.
Extend with people that was already over here. So it don't matter if they went to China first, nigga. It don't matter. And it was people that stayed over there. It don't matter. We are still our own ethnic group that you not a part of, my nigga, at all. And you will never be.
1800s, majority of the slaves that got here was from the Caribbean. Most of them coming from Barbados. You know, the same island Rihanna is from. So now that I've established that our people were here along with y'all's, let's talk about the money part. What did we...
Wait. Before you go to the money part, let's talk about what you said. First of all, family, the overall enslaved population growth in what became the U.S. was driven heavily by direct arrivals, okay? Earlier, and then massive natural increase in internal trade within the U.S. after transatlantic slave trade ended in 1808, legal import ban. All right, so no, we were here.
Contribute economically to the Caribbean. Now, a lot of you like to speak on cotton, right? Because that's what your ancestors picked a lot of. But do you understand before cotton, there was sugar cane? Since we're on the topic of sugar cane, let's talk about my island again. Through the sugarcane trade, my island helped build one of your most prestigious universities, Harvard University. And this was possible through sugarcane trade, because a lot of the time what people miss is a lot of the people who owned slaves in the U.S. also had family who owned slaves in the Caribbean. So it...
All right, so look, again, these guys just be talking. Some Harvard-linked, Indo-nations were connected to the Caribbean slavery sugar economy, some, but the guy with the blanket statements is ridiculous, and the over-exaggeration is ridiculous. But this is what they do.
It was like one big plantation just on the different umbrellas or different family.
Okay, no, it wasn't. It wasn't just one big plantation. That's that whole we all the same stuff. Look, nobody is arguing, at least I'm not arguing, that they didn't have slavery in the Caribbean. Of course they had slavery in the Caribbean. It was brutal, right? Which is why they had certain revolts. Like, shout out to Haiti for fighting back in 1804, getting y'all's freedom, which y'all didn't fight back enough because y'all didn't stay over there and build it up. But nobody's arguing the fact that y'all didn't have any type of trials and tribulations that y'all went through. The only issue that we have is y'all like to align yourselves with us, but then we can't align ourselves with you. Because I guarantee you, if I started to call myself, since we all the Caribbean, think about this logic. If we all from the, because basically his logic is, a lot of y'all Black Americans are really from the Caribbean because y'all ancestors went to the Caribbean first and then y'all went to America. So y'all really from the Caribbean. Okay, so if I'm from the Caribbean, and where's my citizen paperwork? Where's my access to all of the things that your countries get? I should be able to get the same things that you get since I'm a part of you. Same logic is going to apply with you people that like to say, all of us are African, we all the same. So then where's my citizenship paperwork? Where's my access to the freedoms and all of the things that the beautiful African people get? I don't get all that shit though. You know I'm an outsider, nigga. And no, we're not the same. We don't even have the same lineage. We don't even look the same, nigga. It's it's a lot easier to tell the difference between an African and a Black American than to tell if it's a Black American and it's Caribbean, because they had an ethnogenesis in the Caribbean as well. But we can still look at you and tell. I know your hairline is destroyed, my nigga, which is why you have something covering your head. Like, that's one of the easiest ways to tell that somebody's not Black American. Not to mention the way your eyes is parted. They're slanted a little bit like this. Not to mention the way that your nose is shaped. Not to mention the big lips. Not to mention your teeth. Like, these are clear phenotypical characteristics.
All right, let me go a little further because he's cooking on them. I don't want the guy in the chat crying. Okay.
To say that y'all didn't use us as an example, but y'all didn't. We didn't clean it out of the donation. Got the notification. I gotta open it up to see what she said. Damn, they want me to do all this stuff, man. No, don't say nothing. Thank you, Allie. I thought I said something.
The Winthrops estate, who were American slave owners. Not only do our history prove that our people were right there with you, it also proved that we contributed to it significantly when it came.
Family, this all sounds good until he's on a panel with us. Because all we're going to do is ask this fool, sir, what is an ethnogenesis? And that's going to throw out all this we French talk stuff.
To money. The plantations that our people were on were a lot bigger than the plantation that was ran in the South, held by the Americans here in the South. Even though a lot of the same family owned plantations in the Caribbean, that simply meant majority of their wealth came from the Caribbean. That's why when they asked researchers to estimate how much it would cost to pay African Americans reparations, it was between 42 to 9.
Okay, so family, what are you talking about researchers? Researchers don't determine the payout. It's the people filing the lawsuit. Like, how does the defendant, the person being sued, get to tell you how much they're going to pay while they're being sued? What are you talking about, guy? That's why you're reading, bro. A lot of these guys can't use AI correctly. I showed that a lot when Revenue calls in, Jamaican Dream, all these guys. Like they use AI piss poorly, and they get cooked every time. Okay, they get cooked every time. So what he's saying right now is nothing. We're asking for 120 trillion as the first payout, not even the ultimate end all be all. Okay, so anyway, did y'all know this about the islands? Since you want to bring up the islands, did you guys know this? A lot of those guys are not even foundational to their own islands. Okay. Let's talk about. So did you know that there have been many lineages of the earliest enslaved Africans in the Caribbean? Those arriving between 15 and 1700 did not survive to the present day. Did y'all know that many of the Africans that were in the Caribbean from 1500 to 1700 did not survive to the present day? What do I mean? In the Caribbean, the annual rate of natural decrease ran as high as 5%. Planters found it more economical to work enslaved people to death and replace them with new arrivals than to provide the conditions necessary for them to raise families. Why is that important? It's because they never had offspring. Those people that died, they left no lineage. No lineage. Okay. Because of high mortality and unbalanced sex ratio, often 2 or 3 men for every 1 woman, many individuals die without bearing offspring. This means their specific genetic and genealogical line ended on the plantation. They don't have a lineage. So whatever they contributed to, whatever money they're owed, the lineage died out. They brought another African over to replace them with a new lineage or potential lineage. but he had nothing to do with the other guy who worked hard and died. All right. Okay. So, where am I getting at? Most modern Afro-Caribbean people descend from the later. Since y'all want to go far now, listen, I ain't want to do this to y'all, but yeah, talking a little too slick. Most modern Afro-Caribbean people descended from the later massive waves of imports in the late 18th century, family, 1750 to 1807, whose populations were larger and closer to the era of emancipation, and stabilized record keeping. Right. So these guys ain't really. What do I get from that? Now, that is totally different from us. All right. In the Caribbean, the people you see today are often the descendants of the survivors of the final decades of the trade. They call it the amelioration era, late 1700s onwards, when planters were forced by law to improve conditions to keep the labor force alive. This creates a younger genealogical connection, right, compared to us, our Black American families whose roots in the U.S. may go back 10 or 12 generations, family. So those islanders, their roots don't go back but so many generations because they kept replacing Africans and not improving the conditions and letting them survive from their offsprings. Their line was deleted. So a person that's in the islands now who's talking all this big shit, it's possible that he don't even have like long roots. You going? It's possible that they're not even like deeply rooted in their own island. Maybe they're not even entitled to reparations because their slavery ended what 18 oh something 18 oh no I think 1830. Like it's possible that they got over there around that time. I don't know. I'm just saying like they're not deeply rooted in the Caribbean like we are in America. That's what I'm trying to say. So I gotta watch your mouth, basically. What y'all know about that? Matter of fact, let me do this. Shoot. Hold on. So when we say Black History Month, family, we're starting at the foundation of this country. Cotton, tobacco, rice, railroads, roads, all the things that we coal, uh, mines, steel mills, all of those that labor that we produce. Civil War fighting. So when we say Black History Month or Black history in general, we're taking it back all the way there to now. All right. So if a person comes over here, Mike immigrates over here and holds up a sign and rah, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. We need justice. Okay. But that don't make your lineage part of Black History Month. Now, if somebody is super significant where they're worthy of mention, okay. But again, that don't make your lineage entitled to our Black American foundational Black American history. Not at all. Right. So let me do this. Let me do this last thing before I check out. Let me do this last thing. Wait, my computer said unfreeze. Freeze for comfort. I hate it does this. Yeah, so a lot of them might not be as foundational as they think they are in their country. Okay. Peace, Lord Maul. I'm just waiting for my computer to unleash the crackling. Yeah, so okay, so what are we talking about in the chat? Why was Obama the greatest president? I'm pretty sure mom shut up. She have gone FBA, her father and family is there. I know everything I need to know about her. Thanks.
We don't need you.
Who else is here? The French colonists were ruthless. Yeah, these guys, man, they said the hell with, you know, breeding them here. Now we just gonna replace them with another soul, work them to complete death and replace them with another soul. That is brutality, yo. But again, like we view white people different from them. He just said it. The guy I was on here earlier. They um and I said this before. A lot of these Africans, when they come into contact with white people, it was a benefit for them. They benefited. White folks came over there and brought them technology, maybe food, maybe in medicine, you feel me? So built roles for them. So they always seen white people in a different light than had we seen them, than how we see white people. When we see white people, we think about the things they took from us and burned down and bombed up, destroyed, you feel me? And when they view white people, it's what they did for them. It's what they brought to their country. Okay. So yeah, sugar plantations in the Caribbean. Yep, especially 1600s to 1700s. They called the British Caribbean, had extremely high mortality, harsh labor, disease, malnutrition. You know, it had, so that equated to more deaths than births, more deaths than birth. Okay, and because of that, planters kept importing Africans rather than relying on natural population growth. Right? They said, the hell with that. Many modern Caribbean peoples' ancestry is heavily tied to latter African arrivals, 1700s and early 1800s, not just the earliest enslaved African. So they really don't have a line connection to the earlier Africans that were foundational. It is. So yeah, man. Gotta watch what you say. Caribbean ancestry often reflects repeated African importation plus surviving local family lines, whereas we enslaved in America, our ancestry reflects earlier stable population growth. All right. So I mean, we can really be petty. We can really be petty and say, "Hey, man, you're not even foundational in your own homeland. What the hell you fight for reparations for? It's not owed to you. It's owed to those who died earlier. They didn't leave no offspring." All right, so that's pretty much all I have right now. I'm gonna leave y'all with the lineage song, and we are out. Hold on, let me take it from the top.
They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. They hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already prayed for it. Non-believers and pray for us. Non-believers and pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures sleep what they didn't build. They brought us to this country as a labor force. We built a foundation and they hate us for it. We built a foundation and they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay for it, but they gon' pay for it. Already paid for it. Non-believers pray for it. Non-believers and pray for us. Non-believers and pray for us. We're black and we built a foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. And vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lacy poster.
Yeah, my man Kaya, I don't know if you're a woman or a man, but you said Africa rule. You said Africans rule. Where and what? Where do Africans rule and what do you rule? Because I haven't gotten that memo. You rule what? You can't even rule your homeland. Like you guys got no unity at all. 54 divided countries. What do you rule? White T man is over there kicking y'all ass dick. The White T and the Chinese man is over there and the Russian now. You let Putin in. They're kicking y'all ass, dictating terms. Matter of fact, since you said that, I was going to end the show. And by the way, everybody click the link to my mother channel. I'm gonna go live there. There's a link. I'm gonna get on some funny shit. But since he said that, since he said Africans rule, I need you to explain this then. Kaya, don't run. Kaya, don't run. Okay. You said
you meet a 21-year-old
now I was
with
gonna
his
get
own
off,
autonomous drone weapons man.
but you said Africans rule. So I need you to explain this then. If you rule, then why are you dealing with, why are you guys called can openers in Russia? Kaya, you said you guys rule. If you rule, then why are you called can openers in Russia?
A Russian speaker hurls racist insult to the man, saying he is being used as a can opener to breach an enemy bunker.
I did see it. It is so traumatizing. Francis is my son.
For those of you in Africa, in Nigeria, that want to come and join the Russian army, it's very, very easy and very good. No stress.
This Ghanaian man posts dance videos and brags about how much money he makes.
My salary go feed your father, go feed your mother, go feed your family for like 2 years, 3 years. My salary.
They offer Africans sign-on bonuses of $13,000, salaries up to $3,500 a month, and Russian citizenship after a year.
They are lying to people. The money that they tell people they pay, that is not true.
To a new CNN investigation, rosy promises are being made to African men to lure them into fighting for Russia. Several African governments are acknowledging the scale of this growing problem. This includes...
It don't sound like you're ruling. It sounds like you're being ruled and you're being funneled to fight frontline in the Russian army against Ukraine.
Botswana, Uganda, South Africa, and Kenya. Larry Madowo got rare access to the story. He joins us live now from Nairobi, Kenya. So a lot of these men are being essentially promised that they're going to get civilian jobs, that they're going to be paid super high wages, but instead they're being duped to go and fight in Ukraine on behalf of Russia. Larry, what more do we know here?
Zain, I've been speaking to more than a dozen African men fighting for Russia in Ukraine right now, and they tell harrowing tales. Nearly every African I've spoken to currently fighting for Russia tells me they're desperate to leave because they have met conditions that are inhumane, sometimes racism from their Russian commanders. They are being sent to the front lines with little to no training, and they're getting killed in large numbers by drones, by missiles.
What is your name?
Francis.
This disturbing video appears to show an African recruit in the Russian army with a landmine.
He got a landmine across his chest, and you're saying you guys roll?
This disturbing video appears to show an African recruit in the Russian army with a landmine strapped to his chest. He is being ordered to storm Ukrainian positions on the front lines. A Russian speaker hurls racist insults at the man, saying he is being used as a can opener to breach an enemy bunker.
Wait, what happened?
Racist insults at the man, saying he is being used as a can opener to breach an enemy bunker.
So they're using you guys as a can opener, and you got the nerve to tell me that you guys are ruling something. You guys is used as a human can opener to rush in the enemy bunkers, and you're telling me you rule something. Family, I appreciate your attendance. You did. The chat was going crazy. Thank you for super chats. I didn't read anything. If they were there, my apology. The Cash App is there. Support the channel if you want to do that. Like the video on your way out. And we out of here.